Hello. Okay, so today's post is super exciting because we are going to get into actual numbers, which I love, and I'm going to show you how you can make six figures in your wedding photography business photographing just 15 weddings a year. I am a huge proponent, if you didn't know by now, about having an easy, life-giving photography business, which can feel so opposite of what's actually happening in so many wedding photographers' lives who are photographing weddings that are not enough for them to build a sustainable business. So they have to shoot more volume in order to make a living. And then with that, they feel like because they're so behind on the back end work and the calling and the editing and all the things, that they just don't have time to build towards a luxury photography business. So it's very much like a never ending sort of cycle. And today I want to talk about the potential of what is very possible when you decide that you're going to photograph less, so that you can avoid the burnout of a wedding photographer and the model that I see everywhere, and choose to intentionally build your business towards photographing $5,000 plus weddings, and really be able to enjoy your life outside of that and not just constantly be working and stuck behind your computer doing all the things. Now, if you're currently working under the volume model, which means cheaper prices. So I love stats and I love just looking up factual information. And I saw that in the US, the average wedding photographer is charging about $2,600. Now, if you are charging $2,600, you would need to photograph, let me just see really quick, to make six figures, 38 weddings. Actually 39, because it's 38.4. So 39 weddings, which is wild. Not to mention, after you take taxes out of the $2,600, why is this crooked? This is bugging me, guys. There we go. After you take taxes out of the $2,600, after you've paid your second shooter, after you've paid your expenses, your expenses just to run your business, the regular softwares, all those things, you're probably not making much more than a McDonald's worker, which, no shade on McDonald's workers, but I'm pretty sure you didn't start a photography business to be tied and a slave to your photography business way more than full time and charging way less than you ever expected to make before, right? And what this model does of volume is it takes you away from the things that truly are important in your life. For me, it's very much my family first, God first, family, husband, friends, and myself. And, I did that model. So I know exactly what that's like to feel completely burnt out. And I've had the kids who were like, Mommy, can you play with me? And I couldn't because I was so busy working and servicing and doing all the things to service the budget model. And I made the decision to not do that anymore and to build towards the luxury model, because that is truly what transformed everything in terms of my life, my business, my family's life, and made it so that I could be present and work part-time. Now, the first mistake that I see so many photographers making is that they're not running or maybe they're just not aware of the current numbers for what they're charging, right? And so I broke a little bit of that down, and it's like the very first thing you want to do is say, okay, what is my end goal? Because I'm a huge fan of reverse engineering rather than kind of just taking things one step at a time. What is your end goal? If your end goal is to make, $60,000, how many $2,600 weddings would you need to book? If your goal is to make 100,000, how many weddings would you need to book? If your goal is to replace your income, what is your income? Are you factoring in the fact that you would need to, when you leave your job, because you want to leave your job, replace your income? Do they pay for healthcare? Are you factoring that in? And how much is that going to be if you factor that in? Think about what your end goal is in terms of revenue. How many weddings at the price that you want to charge or are currently charging would you need to do to be able to meet that? And then think about, is that even sustainable? Maybe it's sustainable for a year, maybe two. Do you even want it to be sustainable though? Is that something you want? Because the truth is, it's just as hard to build a photography business and charge budget rates as it is to build a wedding photography business and charge more, right? So the second mistake that I see a lot of photographers make is that they think that it's just not for them. They think maybe luxury isn't right for them. They think that because of where they live, because of their editing style, because of their personality. I mean, there's so many mental blocks that maybe it's just going to be impossible for them. Maybe it's too hard for them. And like I said, you're working towards something right now. So why not put that work, all of the hard work that you're doing, into building a luxury model that will be sustainable and will be life-giving for everybody in your life, including yourself. Now, the first thing I want to do is let's figure out how to photograph just 15 weddings out of the year, right? And make $100,000. So let's see, let's do $100,000 divided by 15. And that's about 666666666. Oh God, that's a evil number, but let's just say 6,700. We'll round it up. So in order to photograph just 15 weddings out of the year, you only need to book 15 weddings at $6,700. And like I said, it's just as easy to learn how to do that as it is to continue to learn how to operate the budget model. I don't even like to say budget, but just like $2,600, $3,000, whatever that may be, right? The second thing, now that you know that, now that you're like, okay, like I only need to book 15 people at $6,700, or maybe you just want to make 80,000. I mean, 80,000, let's see, divided by 15 is $5,000, $5,300. So maybe you're like, okay, well, I only need 80,000. All right, cool. So that's $5,300 per wedding, and you only need to book 15 out of that. And the mindset shift that I really want to offer you is there are literally hundreds of thousands of people getting married where you live in your state. And do you really think that you can't book 15 of those? Of course you can, right? And if you had to take the same amount of energy that you're already using to put into this model that you're already doing that's not working and probably burning you out, why not just take that same amount of energy and learn how to do it a different way? Okay, so the second thing that I would urge you to do is make a decision that this is not how you want your business to be. This is not how you want your life to be. And you can start building towards a luxury business today because like we talked about, so often people think it's not for me. I can't start right now. I'm too busy. I'm too this, I'm too that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have to wait until you're a better artist. You can start building towards a luxury model today. You don't have to wait until you move to a better location. There are locations around you within driving distance that you'll be able to book clients who are willing to pay more. You don't have to wait until all of your back end stuff is finished first, right? You don't, so you're already likely so overwhelmed, especially if you're in the middle and you've just got finished with a bunch of weddings and photo shoots and all that stuff, and you have a ton of work on your plate. You don't have to wait until you finish that, right? You can do both. And you should do both, because the truth is you're never going to stop being busy. Even during slow season, I see so many photographers coming up with a ton of busy work for themselves that doesn't actually lead to their end goals, which is why reverse engineering is so important. But all that to be said, reverse engineer what kind of income you need to replace your full-time income, including, you know, insurance and things like that. Or maybe just what you want to make. Maybe you're not leaving a full-time job. Maybe you just want to make this 6 figures, 80,000, 60,000. How much would you need to charge to be able to photograph just 15 weddings a year or just 10 weddings a year? That's actually my cap. I don't photograph more than 10 weddings a year because I highly prioritize being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling and going to all of their games, and my husband being a coach for, you know, their baseball team, and, you know, all of these things that I wouldn't have time or the capacity to do if I was doing the $2,600, $3,000 model. Think about those things and calculate that out, and start to give yourself the permission and the agency to think bigger for yourself and for your family. And you'll find that it's going to seem very scary, but there's something also in that you're going to think, wow, okay, it's just as hard to build both. So why not build the better one? Do you know what I'm saying? And that little sort of thought will be the catalyst for you to start building a better life for yourself. So hopefully that was helpful. Now, quick reminder, the waitlist for Roadmap to Booked is closing tonight. If you haven't heard about it, we've been posting all about it on Instagram and my stories. It is a beautiful program, and it's a group coaching program. It's a 6-month deal. And there's community, there's bi-weekly coaching from me. There is 50 plus trainings inside that you could do at your own pace. There's just so much in there to help you really succeed in the luxury wedding photography industry. And it really is A to Z. So I leave nothing out. There's no gatekeeping, and we can cover anything that you feel like you still have a question about on our bi-weekly calls. If that's something you really want to do and you feel like you're ready to do inside your photography business, just look below. We've left the information for you to join the waitlist, which is closing tonight. And then tomorrow, for 48 hours only, we are launching RTB to only the waitlist with a ton of bonuses, including $1,000 off of the program. So it really is the best time to join Roadmap to Booked. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us and we will get back to you hopefully before the waitlist closes. All right, thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.